Hello，大家好，欢迎大家来到 G.R.M.T 第八周的读书会。然后我们今天要继续探讨，就是信念是如何摧毁我们的自信心。那我们欢迎肉老师还有妹，Welcome。
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Welcome. Okay. So let's we have a relaxed session today. Let's go through. We're going to look at chapter 5 and chapter 6. And so this chapter here, the beliefs that destroy confidence, the thoughts that we have that kill our confidence. So what we'll do is we'll go through the actual beliefs that we can have.
Hi.
And we've got
Oh, we got someone join.
Okay.
Ama.
Hello.
Hello. Now, Amma, you were here before, right?
Yes, 3 times.
And your English, I think, is okay.
The one have kids.
Yeah.
老师问说你英文 OK 吗？Yeah, but we don't need to translate. She said no.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go through these beliefs. So now let's start out with this chapter name, the beliefs that destroy confidence. So what we're actually talking about here is confidence to express our real self. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, the beliefs, the thinking that causes us to not have confidence to express ourselves, our real self. Okay, so that's the whole idea. I mean, this is what the book is about, and that's what the word here, authentic, means. Authentic means real, true, genuine. So this is about the thinking that stops us, gets in the way of us expressing ourselves in the world in our true way that is really us.
好，就是今天我们要继续探讨第5章，因为是很重要的章节。然后这一章我们要讲那个，就是我们有什么样的信念，有什么样的思考，然后它会阻止我们。就是这边说的自信，其实是活出我们内在真实的那个很真实，然后很有活力的那个自己。所以就这一章会探讨我们拥有什么样的信念，会去阻止我们活出真实的自己。Okay.
Okay, so the first sentence here, confidence comes when we trust that expressing ourselves in an authentic way in the world is safe. Okay, so that's saying that if we believe that expressing ourselves, our real self, our real feelings, our real needs, our real desires, the things we really want, we will have, if we can do that in a safe way, if we feel safe to do that, then we will naturally have confidence. That's what this is saying. Okay. So that's the first question there is, do we feel safe to express our real feelings, our real ideas, our real needs in the world? That's the question we're having here. Do we feel safe to do that? If we feel safe to do that, then that will give us confidence. We will have confidence.
就是这边有一个问题，大家可以去想想看，就是当我们在那个表达自己的时候，比如说表达自己的感觉，或是表达自己的一些信念的时候，你觉得那样是安全的吗？或是当你在表达真实自我的时候，你觉得那个当下是安全的吗？因为如果我们觉得是安全的话，我们就会去做嘛。可是 很多人没有做，可能是因为会感到不安全感啊，或是不确定性。
Okay. Okay, so confidence also here is linked to this idea that if we believe that we can maintain our mental and emotional stability, this one here. In other words, if we feel that we can express ourselves in the world and we will not lose our balance, again, that's also linked to feeling confident. You know, if we feel that we're not going to get too much anxiety, well, then we will feel like we can express ourselves. Okay. So let's just go down a bit here. Oh, do you want to translate that bit, Bonnie? So I think it's just that, you know, so the idea of confidence comes when we trust that expressing ourselves in a genuine, real way in the world is safe. And that is that safe meaning that, you know, we are not going to be unbalanced. We're not going to become anxious. We're not going to lose control. We're not going to, you know, we're going to be able to stay balanced. Okay. So
okay, I can translate it. 就是这边的自信其实是代表说我们有没有办法就是在一个很稳定的然后很平衡的状态下去表达真实的自我。 OK.
Okay, so this sentence here just gives us some of the idea of what is commonly feared. So the sentence here says commonly feared outcomes include failure, getting things wrong, being rejected, humiliation. Do we know what that means? Sort of being shamed or sort of, you know, being made. Yeah. And feeling inadequate, feeling not good enough. So those are commonly feared outcomes of the idea of expressing ourselves. You know, so it's like if I have I want my real feeling is that, you know, my real feeling is that, say I'm really sad about this. Well, my fear of expressing that sadness is that people might feel I'm weak. You know, I might feel like I'm showing that I'm weak.
就是这边有一些常见的恐惧会让我们没有办法表达真实自我，然后大概像是可能你会觉得失败啊，或是好像会做错，好像是错误的，或是好像会被拒绝，或是觉得好像可能表达话会被羞辱，然后是觉得不够好。对，那像老师刚刚有举例，就是比如说他想要表达一件事，可是他可能怕讲完之后就会被别人看不起啊，或是什么的，或被拒绝，然后结果我们就不表达这样。
Yeah. Okay. This actual first little paragraph is quite an important one. So we don't express ourselves. We don't express ourselves in a genuine, authentic way with our real feelings in the world because we are afraid of some sort of pain as a result. That's what this is saying, some sort of pain. And the pain being that these things like, okay, I might fail, you know, I might get rejected. People might not like me. I might feel guilty. I might feel not good enough. I might, you know, people will see that I'm, you know, they'll see I'm thinking, they'll see me and think I'm not good enough, or they'll see me and think, oh, what a failure. And so we have this idea of if we express ourselves, we might experience these sorts of pains. And the idea that we have, if we believe that expressing ourselves in the world in a real way, our real feeling is going to lead to us being hurt, then we're not going to have the confidence to do that.
就是如果我们潜意识相信我们在表达真实自我的时候， 可能会导致痛苦，因为这痛苦可能就会来自别人可能会讨厌我，或是别人会评判我，或是别人可能会拒绝我，或是羞辱我，然后所以我们就会没有自信去表达真实的感受，或是真实的感觉。
Yeah. And so if we have this idea that expressing ourselves, our real self, our real needs, our real feelings is not safe, then we will then we kind of modify our self-expression to fit what we think is going to be safe, what is going to get approval, what is not going to get rejection, what is not going to lead to failure. We don't want to take any risks. We want to try and live a safe life, and because we are afraid of experiencing pain, uncomfortableness, being rejected, not being accepted, not being loved. So that's if you think that this is something that we are learning as children. So it's if we were learning this as an adult, it might be easier to just brush off. But because we've learned it as a child, it's not so easy to brush off, and it becomes part of our habit for living, avoiding the risk of being disapproved of, failing, getting things wrong, being rejected, feeling guilty, feeling not good enough. Okay, so we can start to ask ourselves, how to what level are we doing this? Avoiding being ourselves because we are afraid of what might happen.
就是我们在小时候的时候就会建立出一些内在模式，然后就会建立在那个可以去避免这些会导致痛苦啊，然后导致失败或是导致被拒绝，因为我们就会想要创造一些模式是可以被接受的，然后可以被支持的。然后可以被爱的，所以我们就会在很小的时候就建立这些模式，然后这些它没有办法很轻易的被去除，因为它在我们很小的时候就已经形成了。
Okay, so actually lately I've been hearing a lot of examples of sort of parents saying to their children and others, their adult children, who are at a level where they can look after themselves pretty much, being really worried, like, oh, don't do that, who knows what might happen. Don't quit your job because, oh, you might not find another job. Don't go over there because there over there might be dangerous and that might not work out and you can't come back or something. All these fears of what might happen when people express themselves, and being kind of really stated by the adult parents. So it's a really strong thing that is around us all the time. So we've got an example here. If when we were young, not speaking up. Do you know what? So if I say not speaking up, what I mean is if not saying what we're thinking, not saying what our feeling is, if not speaking up was quite a good way for us to avoid any punishment or avoid any negative feeling from our parents, then that is a strategy that we would develop, that we would adopt. Does that make sense? So if I have a feeling, but I don't want to say my feeling because I'm afraid that it might get disapproval. So I have a feeling that, I want to go out and get some ice cream. I want some ice cream. But if I express that and the result is that I get a smack, shut up, type of thing, then next time I'm going to be more careful about saying that. And maybe the next time I'm going to be even more careful. And after a little while, I won't say it at all. And so that becomes my habit, that I have a feeling that I'd like something, but I don't say anything. Because that seems to be a good habit.
Mean like keep silence.
Keep silent. Not speaking up means speak up means say something. So not speaking up means stay silent. So then my strategy, my habit becomes stay silent about what I need. Stay silent about what I'm thinking. Yeah, and maybe a lot of times what I'm thinking or what I would like as a child is not going to work. But if it meets with, if I do express it and the result is getting some kind of punishment, and that could be physical punishment, or it could just be a bad look, it's like, it's like, then I, as a child, I'm very sensitive and I'm going to think, oh, okay, I don't say that, oh, I want my mummy or daddy to love me, so I won't say that anymore. Okay, so I'm learning to be loved. I need to act this way. Be loved, I need to not annoy people. To be loved, I need to stay silent. Many different types of belief you could have there. To be loved, I need to
就是刚刚那一大段是在讲说，老师在举例，就是比如说我们在小时候可能我们就会观察大人的反应，然后比如说你内心有一个需求或是渴求好了，可是你可能第一次讲了，然后可能就被打，或是然后第二次讲了，可能妈妈就叫你闭嘴，然后可能第三次渐渐的之后，你就连表达都不表达，就把它放在心里，然后就是可能自己也觉得，可能讲的也没有用，然后或是你可能就知道，反正讲出来一定会被拒绝或是被骂，所以我们就会形成一种模式，那我就保持安静，然后保持静默，然后保持不要打扰到大人，就是不要打扰到别人，不要惹怒别人，对，
And we did talk about this a little bit before, and it sort of leads into the idea. The next chapter is on conformity. Conformity means conforming, following the rules, doing what you are told to do, or doing what everybody else is doing because that's probably your safest way. Right? So the belief here is that the best way to avoid pain is to follow the rules. And if the rule is keep quiet, okay, following the rule of keeping quiet is going to be the best option because it'll give you the least pain, the least risk, the smallest risk of being rejected or smallest risk of being not loved. So follow the rules means that you're going to be, okay.
所以就是可能在小时候的时候就会建立一种所以只要遵守别人的规则或是可能父母定的规矩，那就是一个安全的策略，然后就不会被打，不会被骂，不会被拒绝，然后不会被讨厌，不会被不接受，所以我们就会在内在就是开始去觉得就是遵守那个规则是可以最低风险，就是最不危险，然后最安全，然后可以就是最被接纳，然后是我们就是一个很不错的人这样。So sad.
Okay. So sad. Yeah. It is sad. It is sad. Yeah. So the idea is here that it's what many people would, many teachers will say is that we are motivated to avoid pain and seek pleasure. It's a basic human thing. We try to stay away from pain. We want to go towards pleasure. So the idea of confidence here, which is the confidence, this is the confidence to express our real self in the world, gets linked to this idea of pain and pleasure, that expressing our real self, our real feelings, can lead to pain. And so that's a huge barrier. That's a huge barrier. If we're going to, if we want to express ourselves, but we think that this expression is going to lead to, pain, hurt us, then we are going to avoid expressing ourselves. That's a natural consequence of having this fear that expressing ourselves will lead to pain. So this drive, the drive here, this drive to avoid pain is really behind a lack of confidence to say and express what we are really feeling.
就是人类都会想要避免痛苦，本能啊，想要避免痛苦，然后跟追求喜悦，然后追求快乐这样。所以我们这种内在的这种，就是从小开始发展出的这种本能的驱动力呢，就是会让我们一直试图去避免痛苦，然后这也会就是导致说，为什么我们会缺乏表达真实自我的这个自信。
Yeah, it's I was just thinking, because it's an interesting thing. So the idea that we link pain to expressing our real self in the world, okay? And so we avoid expressing our real self. We avoid expressing our true feelings. We avoid taking our own authentic or self-generated action, self-generated direction, which is what this book is about, is like going in a direction more or less that you feel is real for you. The other side of that is that what happens for a lot of people is that, and this is the good thing, is that, okay, not expressing ourselves actually is painful as well. So when we don't express ourselves in the world, we don't express our real feelings, and we don't, I'm not talking about, it doesn't have to be big things. It's just like saying, this is my feeling right now. When we don't do that, that's also painful.
Painful inside.
Painful inside, yeah. Yeah, that's an existential pain. It's like I'm alive, and I'm a live being in the world, and I know I'm not saying my truth. That's painful.
就是老师这边有点出一个重点，就是虽然不表达，它可能就是我们把表达真实自己，我们有连接到痛苦，但是其实不表达真实的自己，它也是痛苦的，就是可能发生在内在的痛苦。因为你就会发现自己都没有办法去表达自己真正的感觉、真正的感受。
Yeah. We talked I think it was last time we had the meeting, about approval and disapproval, and approval and disapproval, those two ideas, that's connected to this. It's the idea that we approve, we give ourselves approval. We approve of all parts of ourselves. We don't disapprove of parts of ourselves. We approve of parts of ourselves. Which is saying that everything about me is okay. Everything I want to express is okay. By expressing, I will learn things. I will learn about other people's reactions. I will learn about if that's really my feeling. So the point here is that if we do as children, and we all do to some extent, if we link self-expression to uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable reactions from other people, then we're going to hold back. We're not going to express ourselves, and we will look for a safe way, which we think is like going to get approval from others, that others are going to accept us and love us. So what do we do about that? And we can look at ourselves and we can think about to what extent do we do that, and where do we do that? Now, I think I've talked about Carl Rogers before, and I think that this is a really good quote. I mean, I love Carl Rogers, but freedom to be oneself is a frighteningly responsible freedom. Basically saying that it's a freedom we have to be oneself, to be ourselves, but it's frightening. And an individual moves toward it cautiously, fearfully, and with almost no confidence at first. So what he's saying is just what I've been just saying there, is that, the idea of being ourselves, we move towards it very slowly with a fear until, confidence to be ourselves gradually develops. And so what does that look like? What that looks like is that I start to say, this is my real feeling. I start to test it. I start to say, my real feeling right now is I'm feeling like, you're not listening to me. My real feeling right now is that I'm feeling like I really want to go and do this. My real feeling right now is blah, blah, blah. All right. And we see what happens, and we gradually start to trust that that is our real feeling. And we gradually start to trust that other people's reaction is going to be whatever it is, but that's nothing too much to do with us, and we are safe to express ourselves.
就是老师刚就分享说，我们其实是很慢很慢的走在去表达真实自我的路上，然后我们可能会先慢慢的观察，然后去看一下别人的反应，然后可能会发现别人的反应跟我们怎么表达其实没有什么太大的关系，所以我们就会很小心翼翼的，然后带着恐惧去做测试啊，然后去做一些观察，然后才会慢慢发展出自信去表达。
Okay. So here's the, so you got the basic idea there, that we want to live a life where we are being ourselves, our real self. We want to choose our own direction as best we can. We want to express our feelings as best we can. And that's going to, in the end, give us the best experience of life. And when I say that, I always remember, what an amazing thing life is, that we were born, we get pop into the world, right? We pop into the world, and then a set amount of time goes past and poof, we disappear, gone. We have this bit of time in here. We pop in, we have this bit of time, and then poof, we're gone. And what are we doing in that time period? What are we doing? Are we following rules? Are we just trying to play safe? Or are we exploring what this experience is actually about, being here alive? Yeah, so, that's, I often think about that. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these affirmations. So this is a very practical section here. So this is just some thinking that we can use to sort of start to unblock this confidence, let this confidence flow about being more of ourself. And so this first one here, these are disempowering beliefs. So disempowering just simply meaning that they kind of like take away our power. So this one here, enjoyment leads to pain, is a disempowering belief, right? This is saying that if I enjoy myself, I better not enjoy myself too much, because the next thing that's going to happen is bad.
就是这个章节要介绍6种 会很容易让我们失去力量的信念，然后是一个蛮实用的那个章节，大家可以仔细的听。然后第一个就是太开心可能会导致痛苦。
Okay, so you can think this is a common thing, you know, getting too excited is going to have a bad result, you know, feeling too happy is going to have a bad result, you know, it's going to cause you trouble, you know, people are going to think, calm down, you know?
Yeah, it's like the small child, they are screaming all the time, and the parents will say like, don't scream, like, calm down, calm down.
Or 那个乐极生悲。If you are too happy, it's easy to get something sad thing happen.
Yeah. Scare you from being too happy. Always be quite serious. Yeah, I'm sure this affected me for sure. Okay, so this is about practical things. What can we think to sort of try and break up this idea that having a good time is going to lead to pain?
就是老师下面会给一些逆转的正向肯定句，去帮助我们去逆转这个信念。
Yeah. So these are some of the things that we can tell ourselves and can try and take on, accept as beliefs. Firstly, it's safe to enjoy myself. So straight away, you can do you remember early on, one of the meetings of you were there, I did a thing where I kind of like divide the page, you know, I make a line down here, and we say one of these things like, it's safe to enjoy myself. I write it here, and then I write my reaction. No, it's called an affirmation. It's been in the New Age, kind of came out of the New Age idea. It was very, very popular, and it's a good way to do things. But if I write, it's safe to enjoy myself, and I write it 10 times, you know, and each time I write it and I see what my thinking goes, and I write down what my thinking is. So for example, I say, it's safe to enjoy myself. And then my mind says, oh, you got to be careful.
就是那个大概第一周还第二周的时候，老师有教大家一个练习，就是肯定句的练习，然后你就可以写出像第一个的这个肯定句，就是享受，让自己沉浸在享受是安全的，或是就是让自己喜悦是安全的，然后你写在左边，然后你右边呢，你在写这句话的时候，你右边就是写出你可能会冒出的一些泡泡，比如说你内在就有一些质疑的声音，就是说你确定吗？你确定是可以的吗？那就把那些写在右边这样。
So you can practice this. We can all practice this. We can write, it's safe to enjoy myself, and you just see what your mind says. You know, it's safe to enjoy myself, not for too long. It's safe to enjoy myself. Oh, you better be careful. Safe to enjoy myself. Yeah, sometimes it's safe to enjoy myself. And until our thinking says, yeah, that's a good idea. I agree. Yeah.
就是写到你的头脑赞同为止。对，可能刚开始你写的时候，头脑就会一直说：“你确定吗？你确定是安全的吗？你确定没有问题吗？”可能有时候 OK，对，就是写到你的头脑觉得这个很棒。
Yeah, and we can do the same thing with these other thoughts here. No, it's safe to express myself. So we just tell ourselves, it's safe for me to express myself. It's safe for me to express myself. Well, sometimes it's safe for me to express myself. Well, there's some people I don't want to say anything around. Okay, fair enough. And we can do that with all of them. I deserve pleasure. You know, I deserve pleasure. I deserve pleasure in my body. I deserve pleasure in my mind. I deserve pleasure in my life. It's safe for me to enjoy good things. So this is all about it's safe to experience joy, enjoyment. Joy is about enjoyment. Joy, enjoyment. Yeah.
What about what's the second one? Outrage. It's like over.
Oh, this one here, this word. I didn't say that because it sounds like it's a big word. Outrageousness. Outrageousness is good for me. Outrageousness is when you just go a little bit crazy. It's like, you know, showing your real emotion. It's like if you're acting out, and you know, it's like, you know,
浮夸吗？
like, you know, it's like, okay, let's do the dance now, shall we? That's outrageous. So most people are outrageous only when they have had some drinking or something, you know, alcohol. Okay. So it's okay to let go a little bit and just be a bit crazy. That's what that's saying.
对，就那边有5句，大家可以抄一下，就是表达自己是安全的啊，然后我值得喜悦，然后去享受好的事物是安全的，对我来说是安全的，然后有一点疯狂小浮夸也是很好，对自己是很好的。
Okay. Okay. So this next one here, this idea I have to control myself. It goes with this one. It isn't safe to be alive or responsive. So this one here, I have to control myself. There's a good number of people who make this this is their dominant thinking. I must hold on to control.
就是第二个，这个会让我们失去力量的信念，也是绝大部分很多数人的主要的信念，就是我必须要控制我自己，然后我必须要盯在那边。
Yeah. So you see this in people's breathing when they come for G.R.M.T. You know, their breathing is just so controlled. They cannot find it difficult to let go, really difficult to relax.
对，所以像有很强烈有这个信念的人，他在做 G.R.M.T 呼吸疗愈的时候，就很明显看到他完全在控制他的呼吸，然后完全没办法放松。
Yeah. Okay. So let's go down and we'll have a look at some of the thoughts. Okay, so here this is the kind of basic idea here. That basically it's safe to express my real self, safe to express my real feelings, safe to express my true self. Okay? And that means not thinking I have to control myself all the time. I mean, how hard is that? How difficult, how much energy does it take to be thinking and feeling I have to be in control all the time? Life cannot flow. Energy cannot flow through us. Feelings cannot flow through us if we think we have to be in control all the time. And remember, the reason we're thinking we have to be in control ourselves is because that's going to keep us most safe.
就是大家可以去想一下，我们要用多少的力气、多少能量，才可以就是去控制自己所有的情绪啊，所有的感觉，然后把它固定在那边，然后把它 hold 在那边，然后不让它流动。因为这个可能是我们自己觉得好像会是最安全的一个形式。对。
Yeah. It's a very scary thing, the idea that we can let go of control. And a part of us is going to say, what do you mean let go of control? I have to stay in control. I have to hold on to control. If I don't hold on to control, I'm going to die. My life will fall apart if I don't hold on to control. Got to control things. Got to control myself. So we end up with life it's just not flowing in the direction, and we're not able to just express ourselves. So it's a very destructive thing, and I do see it a lot in people that come along for breathing, for G.R.M.T, and it's a big part of it. We're really holding on, and we're holding on because we're trying to stay safe. It's what we think. We think that it's dangerous to let go, dangerous to relax, dangerous to just have a flow of experience through us. Yeah. So these are some of the ideas here. I now safely express my true self, my real feelings. And, and as Carl Rogers said in this quote here, this is where is it? This is it's up here somewhere. It's a scary thing, right? It's a scary thing. So that's the belief. I now safely express my true self. So if we're thinking that, I can safely express my real feelings. That's another way to say it. I can safely express what is real for me right now. I can safely express what I want. And then there's these thoughts here that we can use to help hold that. The more freely I express myself, the more I get what I want. If I can just relax and express what I want, then the more likely I am to get a result I want. I can, yeah.
就是这边就提供大家一些正向的肯定句，然后第一个就是我现在是可以很安全的表达真实的自己。那像第一个，下面这边有2、4、6，有9个。第一个就是我越自在的去表达自己，然后我就可以得到更多我自己想要的。你就把你的信念替换成这个。对。然后第二个是我可以放手，然后去信任生命。然后第三个是我对自己的感觉很诚实。对，就是有好几个。
Okay, so there's a lot of good thoughts here. I am honest about my feelings. So that's just saying honestly what I feel. My feelings play a constructive part in my life. This is saying that actually feelings are a good thing. They're a good thing, and we want to listen to them because they are helpful. This one here, my aliveness, my feeling of energy, my feeling of life in all its different ways are something that's pleasurable for me and other people. And this one here I think is an important one here too. This one here is a forgiveness, and maybe kind of a new age thing has been the idea of a forgiveness, and I think it's Louise Hay does a forgiveness diet. Have you seen that, Bonnie? It's sort of like a forgiveness diet is like basically you say I forgive myself, and you do it for 5 weeks or something. And I forgive myself for doing this. I forgive myself for thinking I was bad. I forgive myself for thinking I didn't deserve a good life, things like that. So here we can forgive ourselves for holding back. I forgive myself for thinking I needed to hold on tight to everything in my life. It's safe to let go, safe to trust my feelings, safe to trust the flow of life in me.
像这个老师有强调，就是我原谅自己就是很紧绷的，然后是很紧的。因为像路易斯海就是肯定句的教主，正面肯定句的教主，他有一个就是原谅自己的练习，然后好像是5个礼拜，就是一直在练习宽恕自己啊，然后原谅自己的练习。对，就是也没有什么错，因为它其实就是我们想要保护自己，想要觉得有安全感这样。
Mm.
Yeah.
I think we can ask ourselves, if I'm really, controlling myself, is that really making things better or worse? Is my life better because I really control myself?
就大家可以问问自己，我真的一直在控制，然后一直在盯住的时候，我的人生有因此变得比较好吗？
Okay. So this next one here, excuse me, we kind of touched on this before in previous week, the idea of I'm guilty. I'm guilty for, well, that's a good question. I'm guilty for what? Because a lot of the time the feeling we have a feeling of guilt, being guilty, but it's not really connected to anything concrete. It just floats around as this kind of general feeling of being guilty about something.
第三个是我觉得对什么有内疚，然后这个我们上一次第7周读书会有讲到一点点。
Yeah. And so what it gets kind of attached to is the idea that we are guilty just for being ourselves. Just existing. We're guilty just for being here, just for existing. Then we connect it to I'm guilty because I'm a man and men are abusive, or I'm guilty for being a woman because women are too much, or whatever, or I'm just guilty because I'm not doing the right thing, or we don't really know what it's connected to. It's just connected to something. You are guilty if you do not wear a mask. You are guilty if you were one of these bad people who didn't get the vaccine, because you are causing other people to suffer. So you are guilty. And that is also what it's connected to there, is that my self-expression. If I express myself, my real feelings, I'm going to hurt other people. I'm going to hurt other people's feelings. I'm damaging, and this is childhood stuff. If I express myself, my mum's going to be upset. If I say what I'm really feeling, or if I shout out because I want this or that, I'm going to cause my parents to be upset, and that's hurting them. So I shouldn't do that. And because as children, we are very sensitive. Okay, and maybe we it's not the best thing that we're doing, but that doesn't matter. It's the idea that we get the idea that it's not okay. Our action causes harm to other people.
就是内疚感其实是无所不在，就是也不知道它从哪里来，有可能你只是对你存在，你都觉得是一种罪恶。对，身为男生，你可能会觉得，男生都很糟糕，很邪恶，或是身为女生，可能就觉得，女生就是都想太多，还是怎么样？因为我们就是可能从小就会学习到，好像去表达自己的话，可能会伤害到别人。然后比如说，如果你不戴口罩，你可能就会内疚，好像会害到别人，然后各式各样的这种东西。然后因为小时候我们太敏感了，所以我们就是会马上去观察到别人的反应，然后我们就会自己觉得，好像我就害爸爸妈妈很沮丧，或是害他们很生气，然后很难过，然后我们就会有背负很多这种内疚啊、罪恶感。
Yeah. Okay. This idea we are guilty, it's a really strong one, and it's something that is, if we can address that, work on that, we will see some big change in our life. Yeah. So let's go down here. So here's some thoughts we can have. Here's the main one. I'm innocent. And this one is an interesting one because it has an interesting effect in our thinking. But I won't go into that. But let's have a look at some of the other thoughts here we've got. So my self-expression always has a positive impact on others. Right? So this is basically saying, you know, when I express myself, the result for other people is going to be good.
就是第一个就是我的自我真实表达都会带给别人正面的影响。
Yeah. And this is an interesting idea here too. So what if you can test that, you know, let's say that to ourselves. My self-expression always has a positive impact on others. And what's our thinking do? What is our response to that? What's my mind thinking? If I express myself, if I say my real feeling, it's always going to have a positive effect on other people.
I have a
Go.
sound said, oh, so you want to show you are better than other people?
Yeah. Well, that's straight into the idea of I'm guilty.
Yeah.
I'm bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
现在可以做这个练习，对，去看一下脑袋出现什么样回应。
Okay, so let me just say then, my self-expression has a positive effect on other people. Well, maybe I say my true feeling and the other person has a bad reaction. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's not good. Oh, you're being selfish, or, you know, that's not reasonable, or whatever. They have bad reaction. But I think we need to look at it in a bigger picture, bigger way, you know, that when I express myself, it gives people an opportunity to think about the idea of them expressing themselves, their self. It sort of like gives them a bit more freedom to say what their feeling is, you know, if they want to accept that. So by expressing myself, I'm giving other people an opportunity. I'm giving them an opportunity to be more real. Yeah, and maybe they take that opportunity now, or maybe not. But maybe in a few years' time, they actually have some positive effect from that. Maybe it takes a little while. You know, so expressing myself, being real, being honest is going to have a good effect on people, even if they don't realize it straight away. Even if they have a strong reaction because they think they are guilty and they have to defend themselves. They need to hold on to control. And here are you. This is just the parent-child thing. Here's me going, yeah, I'm going to express myself. And there's this other person who's saying, no, control yourself. Don't do that. You're bad. Well, that's the parent-child roles people take on. You know, your boss becomes the parent and you become the child. You are the worker and you take the child position and they take the boss, the parent position. They'll tell you this and you feel bad and guilty. Does that make?
对，就是老师刚刚举例说，当我们在表达真实自我的时候，其实你也是给对方一个机会，可以去接纳哦，原来是可以表达真实感受的。然后也许他的当下可能是出现那种想要保护他自己，然后所以他的反应可能是比较激烈的，或是他可能就会骂你说你怎么可以这样说呢？但是其实它真的就是一个礼物，有可能他可能5年、10年后，他会发现哦，原来表达真实感受也是可以的。他可能过几年之后，他才会接收到这个礼物，也不一定。但是你就是打开的这个可能性上。
我可以分享一下，刚好有一个最近的例子。
OK，
就最近我儿子啊，前2天他早上还跟我说，他说他要去一个地方，然后很严肃的跟我说他要去派出所。我儿子15岁哦，然后说他去派出所，然后就是说因为他在网络上买那个要跟人家买那个游戏的，在脸书跟人家买游戏的账号，结果钱付了，然后人家账号没有给他。然后就在脸书上他就去问大家，然后大家就跟他说有很多人有这样的例子，然后就建议他可以去报案，所以他就请我带他一起去派出所报案。然后就这件事后来我跟很多人分享，然后一开始大家都说脸书的东西不可以买，怎么可以在网络上买东西，不要被骗这样子。但后来他们听完之后，大家都讲出自己被骗的经验。就觉得很好玩，就其实就是好像觉得可能我没有讲这个的时候，大家都觉得自己被骗，应该是自己太蠢了，或者是怎样太笨了才被骗这样子。但是我觉得我讲出这件事之后，虽然一开始大家会说不可以买网络上的东西啦，不要相信那个啦，但后来他们都讲出自己被骗的经验，就觉得很好笑，所以我觉得还蛮符合刚刚好这个例子。对，能帮我翻译吗？
She shared about her son is like say to her he need to go to a police station because he bought some account from like a game account from internet, and then he paid the money and didn't really get the account, like so it's like a fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when she share the experience to other people, and other people first reaction is, oh, it's all fake, don't buy stuff from Facebook, blah blah blah. But after they say that, and then they start to talking about themselves being like a yeah, cheated from the internet experience. So yeah, so she just feel like it's similar to what we just talked about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, express your true feeling.
Yeah.
To empower people around you to say their true feeling or experience.
Yeah. They need. It's sort of like it gives other people permission to express their feeling. And that's a good example. That's a very good example. Yeah. Okay. So here's a bunch of ideas here about the idea for I'm guilty, and you can say these. I've just gone through those. There was one here. I forgive. I think this one here is important. I forgive myself for thinking I hurt others. I forgive myself for thinking that I hurt other people. I think that's a really good one, especially for those people who are healers. Very important, because often people who are healers actually have an unconscious idea that they are hurting others, and they are trying to what's called compensate for that by being helpful. So I think that's a good one. And then this one here, I forgive myself for thinking I was guilty. I forgive myself for thinking I was bad. I forgive myself for thinking I was wrong. Yeah, all of those are good. So I encourage you to write these down, translate them into Mandarin, say them, repeat them.
就是第3个跟第4个都是原谅，第3个就是我原谅我自己，觉得自己很糟糕，然后觉得自己是错的，觉得自己是很内疚。然后刚刚第4个就是我原谅我自己，我原谅我自己去想到我会伤害别人，然后老师就说很多疗愈师都会很怕伤害到别人啊。尽管是这个想法，我们也可以去原谅自己。就是有时候我们会自己觉得说，我好像伤害到别人了，但是它可能只是一个我们自己觉得，然后我们也可以去原谅这样的自己，去接纳自己这样的想法。
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to disempowering belief number 4. And this one here has got 2 versions of it. One is I'm stupid.
What's the
the
second one?
I'm incompetent. I'm incompetent, which means I can't do things. Yeah.
Useless.
Useless. Yeah, useless. I mean, that's good too. You're useless. What a useless person you are. I mean, what a crazy idea that is. Okay, so this is a very common, this is a very common idea that we are stupid, we are useless, we are not competent to do things, right? And of course as we're growing up, we don't know how to do much at all, but we are quickly learning. So the problem here is that if we're in an environment when we are young and we are being told that we are not good enough, that we are silly, that we are stupid, that these ideas here, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't be ridiculous. This word here, you'll have to find out what's the Mandarin for that. Ridiculous is sort of like, again, it's kind of like stupid. Yeah. That's a silly idea. That's a silly idea. That's a stupid idea. Or my dad used to say to me, although I would have some idea when in my family, when I was young, I'd say, oh, I'll think about this. And he would say, oh, I've got a better idea. I got a better idea. I got a better idea. He was always saying to me, I got a better idea. My ideas are better than your ideas, right? So we end up with this idea that actually we're not very smart. We're not very smart. We're a little bit stupid, We don't know what we're doing and we're a bit stupid. And that's a really, really common. And then if we're thinking that we're not very smart, we're not very intelligent, then that's really going to cause us to hold back, because firstly, we're going to be afraid of making mistakes. We're going to think the chances are really good we'll get it wrong. And if we get it wrong, we will look stupid, we will look bad, we will feel bad. So here's some thinking around here that we can change this. Well, one is I am a capable person, which basically means that I can do stuff. I'm able to do stuff. I have the ability to do things. And then there's just these.
Wait a second. 就是第4个是在讲说，我们觉得自己是很笨拙的，跟觉得自己是很无能的，然后这很多人都有。然后像可能不知道从小到大，你可能就突然有个想法，然后你可能就被父母说你怎么会这样想呢？它是一个愚蠢的想法，不要乱想。然后是像老师，他爸很常跟他说，老师就说哦，我有一个 idea， 我有一个点子，然后他爸就会马上打脸他说我有一个比你更好的点子，就是会一直要去打压他的想法，然后让他觉得自己是很笨拙的啊，然后就是可能会做错啊，对，所以这样我们就会让大家会很害怕去犯错，因为这样就会显得自己是很笨的这样。
Okay, so here's some of the thoughts we can have. And you can try these again, I think. Write them down. Write it down. Write it down and see what reaction your thinking gives you. So here we go. I'm more intelligent than I think.
就是我比自己想象中的更有智慧。
Yeah, I think this is a really good one because this style of affirmation, this style of thinking is it's kind of a tricky one because it's saying that, okay, it doesn't matter how intelligent or how smart I am, I think I am more than that.
就不管你觉得自己是有多聪明还是多有智慧，其实你都比你自己想象中的更有智慧。
Yeah, it's like I really like the thought that my plans always work out better than I plan them to. It's the same sort of a thing. I'm more confident than I think I am. I'm more intelligent than I think I am. Okay, I have confidence in my ideas. You know, I can believe in my ideas. My ideas are good enough. I am important and my ideas are valuable.
就是我
Yeah,
对我的点子是很有自信的，然后我是重要的，然后我的点子是很有价值的。
yeah. And this one here, I really like this one. I forgive myself for underestimating myself. Do you know underestimating?
低估，Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like I didn't think about, I put myself at a level which it's too low.
就是我原谅自己，低估了自己。
Yeah. You know, it's like okay, I am a better parent than I think. I'm a better mother than I think I am. I'm a better father than I think I am. I forgive myself for thinking that I couldn't be as good as, as good as I am. That sort of thing. And then this one here, mistakes are natural. You know, it's part of the growing, learning process is that mistakes are natural.
就是犯错是自然的。
Yeah. Okay, I like this one here. This was quite an important one, and maybe even is still for me now, is this idea I'm safe when I'm out of sight. I have more freedom when I'm not seen.
就是第5个，也是对老师来说，也是一个很大的一个信念的课题，就是当我不被看见的时候，我是更安全的，然后是更自由的。
Yeah. So I think this is the kind of the introvert, Carl Jung had, 2 types, extrovert and introvert. The introvert is more focused internally. They like it quiet. They stay away from crowded and people. I'm pretty sure that the introvert is going to have this one, is that, I got more freedom when people don't see me. I'm safer when I'm out of sight. So, keep a low level. Don't go out and make a lot of noise, and you'll be safer. However, that and you've got to remember, this is a strategy that we develop as a child to stay safe, to avoid pain, to avoid punishment. Basically, if no one notices me, I'm going to be okay.
就是小时候发展出来的，如果没有人注意到我，就是安全的。
Yeah, we will all have some of that going. We'll all have some of that. Okay, so here's some thoughts to play with. It's safe and pleasurable to be seen. Try that one out.
被看见
here's some
安全，而且是可以很愉悦的。
I think this is like this was probably a really important one for gay and lesbian people who they know they know their sexuality and they feel it, but they're afraid to actually could be some are afraid to actually see it, and then when they step out and they just show who they really are, it's like it's a transformation. So being out there is safe. Being out in the world is safe. Being seen is safe. When I like this one, when I'm visible, I prosper, which is when I can be seen, when I'm visible, then I do better in the world. People are safe to be around. So the idea is that it's safe to be seen. It's safe to let people see who we are, who we really are.
对，就是站出来也是安全的，然后跟被看见的话，我就可以更繁荣，然后做更多，然后还有就是被人群围绕是安全的，然后 在人群中表达自己也是安全的。
Yeah. Okay. So this last one here, the idea that love is painful. This can be a serious block to us expressing our real self. The idea that love is going to be connected to doing what we don't want, to manipulation, to kind of hurt. So let's have a look at this. So this is about saying, well, what I want. It's about asking to be loved in the way we want to be loved. So love is kindness, gentleness, encouragement, and support. I deserve love. So I deserve love, and it's this is what love is: kindness, gentle, encouraging, supportive. Okay? Love is not do what you're told. Love is not be a good boy, be a good girl. That's nothing to do with love.
就是这个第6个也很重要，就是爱是痛苦的话，我们就要把它扭转成爱。其实不是说你就是去做我叫你做的，或是你就是当个好男孩好女孩。其实爱是上面那一段，就是说爱是很仁慈的，然后很温柔，然后很有鼓励的，然后很支持的，然后我值得被爱的。
Yeah. So I think these are good to do. And love is a very important thing to think about. It's such a emotionally loaded idea, right? So here we can think about this, that I'm now becoming the best judge of what's good for me. This is a really important idea, I think. And I think particularly so from what I've seen in Taiwan. What's the best thing for me? Who's going to decide that?
就是第一个，就是谁可以决定什么对自己是最好的。
Yeah, what's the what do you need to know to be able to decide that? We're the only one who can know that, because we're the ones that know our own feelings, our own needs, our own vision for the future. Yeah. Okay. So there's only room for loving people in my life. I think that's a good one too. It's like, okay, let's have a policy, loving people in my life.
就是去爱生命中的所有人。
Yeah. And I think this is a really good one too, because this idea of abuse, abuse is abuse. Love is love. We get it mixed up, because if we have parents or others in our life that kind of like abuse us, don't treat us good, but we start to mix that up and thinking they also love us, we need to be able to say, okay, actually this behavior is not good. And this behavior is not loving. This is what loving behavior would look like.
就是第3个就是虐待就是虐待，然后爱就是爱，其实是不一样的。有可能我们以前会错误的把别人对我们的一些虐待、控制啊，一些言语的霸凌当作是爱，当作是关心。可是其实我们要懂区分那个虐待就是虐待。
Okay. So this is a lot of different thinking. These are kind of like disempowering beliefs we have, six areas, right? And you can use this to sort of have a look at what are you thinking. I think that what the movement, when we start, just go back up to the top of here. So when we start to experiment with being more honest, more saying what our real feelings are, more listening to what our real feelings are, and trying to work them out. So as we start to do that, then these are the types of beliefs that are going to come to our awareness. It's these things are going to start to pop up, because that the process of expressing ourselves more in the world is healing, and it will highlight the beliefs that we have that are in the way.
就是当我们可以越多的去表达真实的自我，它其实就是一个疗愈的过程，然后这些让我们失去力量的信念，它就会慢慢的浮出来，慢慢的在某个瞬间跳出来，然后我们就可以更去有机会去看见，然后去觉察，还有去释放这个。
Yeah. So we're kind of running out of time here, but I think I can just really just sort of say about this next chapter, and I think that can finish this section of the book off. So this chapter here is about conditioned to conform, and I've called it the authority problem. So we can just think that parents are the authority in our life when we are young. They are the leader. We are the child. They are the leader. They are showing us the world. And if we go back to this, what we've just been talking about, this idea that we avoid pain, we lose our confidence, we don't think we are good enough, we are worried about being seen, so we hide in our life, hide our feelings. What else we got here? We feel guilty. We feel we're a bit stupid. Okay, we can go through these beliefs. It's not safe to express my energy. I worry about hurting people if I do the wrong thing. I have to control myself. So, all these things we've just talked about, right? These are the beliefs. So not safe to be myself. I have to control myself. I'm a guilty person. I'm wrong. I do the bad thing. These are unconscious, because of course, normal life, we try and avoid feeling these things, right? It's only when we're tired, we feel depressed, stressed, that it really kind of comes up. Okay, so if this to some level for all of us is in our unconscious, all of these beliefs, the negative ones, the disempowering beliefs, what's the result on how we live our life? We've kind of touched it, So here we are, we're feeling not good enough. We don't have the confidence. We feel like we're a bit stupid underneath, because we have our life, we try and get on with things. But underneath we feel that. So what's the effect of that? And the effect is this next chapter. The effect is this: we conform. Okay. So the way to think about it is that we are asking ourselves inside, what is the path to a safe life?
就是刚刚上面讲的这些所有的让我们会失去力量这些信念，它其实就是它有一个核心，就是我要做什么才是安全的。我要在我人生中做些什么才是安全的，然后所以就会有刚刚那些各式各样的信念。
Yeah. And so the way we answer that is that we conform, and we look for replacements for our parents everywhere. So we get this idea unconsciously that to stay safe, we need to follow the rules. That's how I stay safe in my world, is I follow the rules. Okay, so if that's the way we're going to think, whose rules do we follow? And so the next thing is that if we're going to follow the rules, we have to then look for the rules to follow. So we become people who are looking for authority. We look for authority to lead the way, to tell us what to do, to provide us with the rules. Please, authority, help me stay safe. Please, authority, help me to avoid being in trouble. Please help me avoid pain.
就是我们小时候的权威就是父母嘛，然后我们长大就会把这个权威的角色把它投射在生活中的各个层面。对，然后我们就会很期望是由别的权威来跟我们说要怎么做，然后要做什么，然后要做什么我才不会受伤，然后要做什么我才是安全的，然后要做什么，反正就是会想要一直听别人的规则，然后要遵守哪些规则我才会是被爱的，等等等。
Yeah. And so we can end up to different levels. We end up being a child all our life, looking for a parent to tell us what to do.
所以我们一辈子都会变成一辈子都是小孩，都在等着别人告诉我们要怎么做，然后要遵守什么，要做些什么。
Yeah. And this is what we have learned as a children. We have learned to do this. We don't express ourselves, not as much as we would like to or could, and we look for rules to follow, tell us how to stay safe. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be, radical person. This just means that it's like the examples that May Shanghui has given and others have given, don't go to working holiday in Australia. Don't do that. It's not safe. Okay, so the authority there is a parent. Your boss says, don't do that, do this. You follow what the boss says. We're just following whoever has got the power. We follow the health people when they say this vaccine is safe. No one's not hurt anybody, but we didn't test it on anybody. It hasn't been tested, but it doesn't matter about that. Just take it. So, you can tell my position on that. So this is a real problem. Conditioned to conform. We have learned to follow rules. Now, rules are good, and we need some rules, but we need rules that are helpful, that help us be ourselves, help us express ourselves in the world. We don't need rules that are just about trying to stay safe when being safe is not being real. So one of the things I think one of the things that was really strong in the 70s in America and around a lot of the world with the New Age movement was that's what it was all about. It was about saying to the government, hey, we don't want to have war. We want to have peace. We want to have love. We want to express ourselves. And I think that's what's happening now is that people are saying, actually, I want to live a real life myself. I want to express myself. I don't want to just conform to what people think should do. So I think it's a real strong thing happening now. So these are the thoughts, these are the beliefs, what we discussed through this session. These are the things that are stopping us. And this is the challenge, is to make our own life. Okay? And not just be comfortable and try and avoid pain. So there's some beliefs here we can have. And I think there's some good ones here. I look to myself for direction. This is very much about, what Carl Rogers was talking about. It's about starting to trust our own feelings. I look to myself for direction in life. Wow, and that's pretty scary. I'm the one who's going to be the one deciding what way I go. Wow, that's really scary proposition, scary idea. It's safe for me to think my own thoughts and take my own actions. Try that one out. It's safe for me to think my own thoughts and take my own actions. I trust my decisions and actions to increase my experience of joy. I can make up my own mind. Oh, a simple idea, right? But just see how your thinking respond to that. I can make up my own mind and go, oh, really? Really? I should check, right? You know, what do you think about this idea? You know, I can make my own decisions. This can be really scary stuff. When I take responsibility, I increase my freedom. Yeah. Okay, and we got some more down here. It's safe for me to question authority. I think this one is so important, you know, because there's the idea you shouldn't question authority. Maybe authority, the authority, whatever it is, the government department or whatever, maybe they're correct. Maybe it's a good system they got, but maybe not. You know? I'm free to question anything and everything. And I think at this time in the world, this is really important. You know?
就这个是我去质疑权威是安全的，然后像第一个就是现在的世界来说很重要，我有自由去质疑任何东西。
Yeah, and I think this one here, it's safe to get the facts. And this is like saying it's safe to search for the truth.
就是寻求真相是安全的。
Yeah, and I think that's really important. It's safe to search for the truth. See if we can find that. Yeah, and this one here about permission. Okay, if we're looking to an authority to run our life, we actually, one of the things we're doing is we're asking permission. We are asking, is this okay? Is this okay? Is it okay for me to do this? Am I allowed to do this?
就是给自己许可，就是可能很多人会想要寻求别人的许可，然后才去做。
Am I allowed to wear bright clothes? Can I be colorful? Am I allowed to be colorful?
Am I allowed to not wear a bra?
Is she allowed to not wear a bra? I don't know. You have to ask Bonnie.
Of course.
Yeah. And so this one here, I give myself permission. So important. I give myself permission to receive. I give myself permission to experience pleasure. It's safe for me to communicate what I want. When I ask for permission, I remain, and this one here, when I ask for permission, I remain empowered and true to myself. So if I'm going to ask for permission, I'm still going to stay true to myself. Okay. Okay, so I think you can read through the rest of this, and I think we can leave it at that. No, so the idea is here we start to question authority. We recognize that we have been conditioned to conform, and that we're looking for people to give us approval and to give us direction and tell us the rules. We need to shift over to being the one. We're looking to ourselves for that. Really important. And in the process of doing that, all of these types of thinking about, all our negative thinking about being ourselves will come to the surface. Okay. Any thoughts on all that?
Oh, 有人想要发问吗？
因为谢谢老师今天这些分享，我会把这些东西传递给我儿子，告诉他这些。
will spread that to her son.
Okay.
Thank you.
Encourage him to tell his true feeling and experience. Like,
Okay.
超棒，就是鼓励你儿子可以这么勇敢的说出他真实的经历，然后激发旁边的人也可以就是诚实的诉说，
Yeah.
有共鸣。
Yeah.
我觉
Good.
得生孩子真的就是让我们再重新活一次，然后从他们身上看到我们自己。刚刚我听到有一句我觉得很有感觉，是写说爱就是爱，虐待就是虐待。我们中国人很会说就是什么爱之深责之切啊这种，但是我自己老师刚刚讲一句也打中我，就是有时候对孩子很严格，其实那时候是要想想这时候的我怎么了，应该是要反过来看这时候的我们怎么了，绝对不能把它当成是好像是因为我爱你所以我才对你这样，其实是这时候是自己里面怎么了要问自己。对。
He said the Asian culture always say, "Oh, because I love you, so I blame you." Or you know, 是情骂是爱。I love you, so I
爱之深责之切。
对，有这个我有讲，然后还有我又想到打是情骂是爱，想说什么东西啊？
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And it hurts me more than it hurts you. The parent saying that. This is also common, or this has been common in the West as well. It's not just Asian. Yeah. 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 And I think in the family is a very powerful place to start practicing this. It's not always the most successful place, but it's a powerful place to start saying, you know, this is my true feeling. Yeah. Sometimes it's accepted and sometimes it's not. Sometimes, but we need to have our friends, our relationships where we can practice this, and then it's very powerful. Yeah. But it's also can change families. Yeah. And it's also very, it's not, we might think we want to say our true feeling and that's a really good thing. But we will still have some reaction. We will think, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's say what we really feel and let's say what we really feel quickly so we can just keep the flow going. But it can be really, really difficult, really difficult because it doesn't feel comfortable, especially if we have to change our own thinking. Yeah. So anyway, yes, good. Thank you. Thank you for listening and thank you for being interested.
Okay.
It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.